Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro Corner, where we make our name. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Every scale tells a tale, every clutch a dream. Working the grind, we reign supreme. In every corner, the potential's real. Chondro Corner, where we seal the deal. Chondro Corner, 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 Chondro Corner. Every scale tells a tale, every clutch a dream. Working the grind, we reign supreme. In every corner, the potential's real. Chondro Corner, where we seal the deal. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, 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 Chondro Corner.
What it do, everybody. Welcome to another night, another Monday. It's Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there, to everybody that made the sacrifice and still making the sacrifices. Salute to y'all. You already know. I hope y'all went out and got your meals and all that good little stuff, your free meals. We got a crazy good episode tonight. We got Mark Heger from TX Chondros in, and y'all finna learn a little something. You can always learn something new. Let me see who's in the comments right now. And yeah. We got Shayna. What's going on? What's going on? Trademan Exotics. What's going on? Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming through. My homeboy, Brian. Heathen Hatchery, man. Hey, we got some things coming up for y'all later this year, man. We got some Chondro stuff coming. Well, you already know we got Bosa Bosa in the building. We got James. What's going on, James? What it do? What's going on, Phil? Phil just got his first Chondro from Carly not too long ago. How's it doing? Who else we got up in here? We got Nikki. What's going on, Nikki and Kurt? Then we got Aaron. What's going on? What it do? What it do, bro? We got Josh. What's going on, man? How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? Got Eden. What's going on, Eden? How you doing tonight? Thank you for coming out. Thank you for your support. We got Will. What's going on, Will? 1776 Exotics. What is going on, bro? Here's we got. Oh, snap. Super chat. Appreciate it, Pops. Mom and Pops for the super chat. Hey, if y'all, if it's y'all first time here, make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit the notification button. It's gonna be crazy, man. We just continue to grow and all that good little stuff. We got Mikey Marsh in the building as well, man. I'm picking up a Neo from him very soon. And my boy Adrian, what's going on, Adrian? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, We have Mark, Texas Chondros, everybody.
What's up?
What's going on, bro? How's it going?
Oh man, it's good. Hey, I know that you are still active in military, and man, the not everybody's cut out to be in the military, and certainly the military isn't for everybody. But man, we're super thankful for a guy like you who has stepped up to serve our country and just protect this awesome nation that we all get to live in. Well, I'm sure there's some international people here too, but man, we're super thankful for you and the service that you have given to the United States. So thank you, and happy Veterans Day to you. Even though you're still active, you're still doing it, man.
Yeah, thank you. My sister and my brother, they over in Japan right now. They stationed together. And then my other little sister, she just joined the Marines, maybe not the Marines, the Air Force about 2 months ago. So it's 7 siblings, 4 of us are in. The other ones, they still doing good too, but I guess we just turning this thing into a military family.
And that's awesome. Your parents obviously instilled a lot of good virtues and values in you guys to step up and serve. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's going on? Matter of fact, that's my sister right there. The Marines.
Nice.
She got
From Japan, huh?
Yeah, from Japan. Yeah. She got 12 years in, about to hit 13 years.
That's awesome.
I got 11, about to hit 12. So yeah.
Got to catch up.
I'm trying to. So go ahead and jump into your bio, let everybody know, when you started, where you come from, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. Man, it's awesome to be on another podcast talking about these snakes that man, so many of us are crazy about, myself included. But yeah, my name is Mark Heger. I started the Texas Chondros Instagram account. And since then have just through a lot of good luck and a lot of hard work, kind of made it into something that has become pretty popular, I think. I've been keeping chondros specifically for the better part of 12, 13 years, and man, they've just hooked me. It's they're super addicting, and man, I just am so passionate about these snakes and just how amazing they are. So I've been into reptiles, been into all animals like my whole life, and I didn't really start keeping until like after college, and after I got married and settled and had a house, and kind of just have a space to be able to dedicate stuff. And man, since then it's been hard to look back. I just can't imagine my life without these awesome snakes. So I'm in Dallas, Texas, in the Dallas area, and we've got so many just incredible chondro keepers here
literally
in Texas. So man, I'm super lucky. I count myself incredibly fortunate to be among just guys like Bill Stiegel, Patrick Holmes, and so many other incredible green tree keepers.
Yeah, literally, like I'm debating about getting me a property down there, retire down there, because everybody gonna be there. So
it's a good spot, man. We got a lot of incredible people here. We got good space, and unfortunately in the economy right now, no houses are cheap, but man, you can get a lot in Texas for what you might have to pay somewhere else. So come on, man, we'll welcome you with open arms.
I got you. So tell us about your first chondro experience.
Yeah, so my first, I got into green trees after I had gotten into carpet pythons. And so I got a carpet python, and it was great, and I really enjoyed it. And then, you know, I always looked at green trees as like that advanced snake. Like I thought that I needed to have training wheels before I could like get into that like upper echelon, that like really
Yeah.
advanced snake. So I got into carpet pythons just a little bit, and then was searching Craigslist in my city, and saw somebody post up just this yellow Neo green tree for, you know, like $300 or something. And I was like, oh, okay, dude, like if that's the species that I want to keep, and here's one for like, you know, a low price, maybe I can get this like Craigslist animal and, you know, use that as just a learning tool. Like I had been on the MVF, that was the Morelia Viridis forums, and that
Yeah.
was where like all the like big time chondro heads were, like all the legends. Like Rico was on there all the time. Rico Walder, who's like
Mhm.
probably one of the most successful chondro keepers and breeders in the US.
R.I.P. Rico.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man, he was a legend in every sense of the word. Like not only did he know his stuff, but man, he would give anybody his time. He was the nicest dude on the planet. And so like all the people were in the MVF, and I just like obsessed over it. Like I wanted to learn all the lineages, all the snakes, all like the snakes' names and where they came from and who had them and what projects everyone was working. And so, man, I dove in deep to the MVF, and then, you know, I decided to get that green tree on Craigslist, just thinking like, dude, if this snake like, I don't know, you know, I don't know about most people, but man, when I turned 16, I didn't get the car I wanted. You know, I got a beater that, you know, was like, oh, okay, like if something, like if Mark's an idiot, which 16-year-old Mark was an idiot, and he
I think
took the car,
all our younger selves was idiots back then,
yeah.
bro.
And so it was like, man, here's a snake that I can just test drive and, you know, put through the bumps and bruises of trying to learn how to keep this species. And so,
Mhm.
man, I got that yellow Neo, and it turned out to be like just the most incredible snake. Like the older it got, the more black it got on it, the like it
Jeez.
just like came to life. And
Mhm.
I got super lucky. It definitely wasn't like the typical Craigslist chondro experience. But man, it was an incredible, just watching that snake transform from this bright neon yellow to this like black and blue and yellow and white, and just like every color I could see coming into the snake. And from then on, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Um,
So did you have like the lineage on that snake, or it was just something off of Craigslist?
yeah. So the guy that I got her from told me that it was a Meraki Biak cross, and that someone had produced it, and he gave me their name, and I tried to track them down and like search out like, hey, do you have pictures of the parents? And you know, of course, it just all led to a dead end eventually.
Yeah.
But so she was an undocumented snake, but everything that she developed into, I have no reason to believe that that she wasn't a Meraki Biak cross. From what I've
Mhm.
seen since then, she developed a lot of similar characteristics to what some of those pairings do end up in. But her name was Fiona. She turned out to be a female. Um, and man, I put her through the ringer. My husbandry was not on point. You know, I was trying to
Mhm.
figure out how to keep and what to keep her in, and like all the stuff. And man,
It
she
was
was
just
so
yeah.
good to me. So super thankful for that snake. And then eventually I actually got to get babies from her, which was super cool.
Oh, that's good. That's good right there. It's
Yeah.
always, good to have like some lineage left behind before the mother passed or the pop passed stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Oh no, I was just saying what was next after that.
So then, so I had this one chondro, and man, I was falling in love with it, and so I I decided that I was going to sell my carpet python that I had,
Mhm.
and you know, fund more green trees.
Yeah.
Like, I have to find more green trees. So I posted that carpet python on Craigslist and said, hey, here's all the lineage that I have from it. Like, I actually got that carpet python from a breeder, and this dude reached out to me through email, and his name was William, and he said, hey, I saw your carpet python on Craigslist. I'd like to buy it. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, great.
Mhm.
Where,
Now,
like where?
what year was this?
This is probably it's probably around like 2011, maybe
Okay.
2012
Yeah.
at
Okay.
the earliest. But so he was like, yeah, why don't you just come over to my house and bring it here? I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. So I drive out to William's house, and it turned out to be Bill Stiegel
Yeah.
of Phoenix Reptiles. So
The
when I
mayor. Shout out to the mayor.
yeah, the mayor, man, he wasn't the mayor back then. He was
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
he was just a guy, man. And so me and Bill, man, we hit it off, and he was keeping a lot of carpet pythons at that point. He was keeping a lot of ball pythons, and he had just gotten into green trees as well. And so
Mhm.
he might have had one or two green trees at the time that I first went over there. But that was the first time that I saw someone with like a big private collection and
Yeah.
doing it the right way, like man, really, like, not just acting professional but keeping professional as a private keeper. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, I gotta come over here more. So I started going over to Bill's like every chance I could get to like just pick his brain on stuff and hear about everything.
Hmm.
And so me and Bill became quick friends, and man, since then we've only grown closer, and we have continued to just bounce ideas off each other and help each other out with whatever we need. So Bill has been a huge influence on me, and he's definitely been a mentor to me, but even more than that, like, he's just been this brother that I got to grow up in
Yeah, a
Chondro,
good
because
comrade.
because we came in at the same time and really got to figure it out together. And
Hmm.
so so Bill, seeing Bill's collection, and then having him be a bad influence on me of like, dude, seeing all his snakes and the way he kept and just everything he had, I was like, oh dude, I gotta try and get on Bill's level. And,
Right. Step my
and
game up.
yeah, and
Like,
so
that's how I feel like when I come over to your place. I'm like, yo, like, hey, you got all your card, maybe because I only have like maybe 7 controls, but still you got all the cards. You got, when they feed, with the feeding, when water change, when they defecate, you have everything on that card, and that inspired me to be a better keeper, and hopefully a better breeder one day.
yeah, man, there's plenty of people that you'll talk to in green trees, but in every snake community that they're like, nah dude, I don't keep records, like I don't write anything down, I just do whatever the snake wants me to.
Yeah.
And that's great for them. For me, man, I love I love the stats. I love the facts. I want to see like when they ate, when they hatched, what pairing it was, you know,
Mhm.
when the last time they shed was, how often are they defecating? Like all that stuff for me helps to create this like it unravels the puzzle a little bit, and I get to
Yeah.
see, okay, man, this snake is acting this way for this long, and now it's changed, or now it's, you know, or it's completely the same. And so, man, I can trust things are going well, that it's healthy, that everything's good. So I love keeping records, and I do it pretty obsessively. So
Yeah, this dude, he keep good records too. Mikey Marsh,
yeah,
keep
yeah, dude.
real good record.
Yeah, Mike's the man.
Yeah. But okay, so after Bill, y'all basically, grew up in a community together. So like what brought you to loving the calico line?
Yeah, so that was really like from the MVF, like back in the day, but this was before like, you know, Facebook groups and, you know, all the green tree pages that are all over Facebook and everything. Like, man, we really just had the forum. And so on the forum, man, I learned about all the like different lineages of green tree pythons. Like for
Hmm.
me, I, I was never attracted to the ball python route of, you know, you have you have A morph, you have B morph, you breed them together, you get AB, you know? Um,
Hmm.
and for me, I loved just the like, the unknown of, dude, with green trees, you can breed this together and that together, and you have no idea what's going to hatch out until it does.
Literally.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, like you know, it could be something incredible, or it could be, you know, something still playing, but dude, it's still a green tree. Like
Yeah, it's
that's
still a
awesome.
green tree. Yeah, like
Yeah.
hey, they hard to hatch.
Yeah.
They, they
Yeah. So
hard to get at that day 50.
yeah, amen. So man, I like was just learning about all these like different lineages and pedigrees of green tree pythons. And for me, the one that just I was enamored with, like the ones that stuck out as just the coolest looking snakes on the planet, were
Hmm.
ones from the calico line. And
Hmm.
unlike uh, ball pythons and really every other snake that has like kind of a calico gene to it. Ball python has calico. You know, a lot of the boas, like
Hmm.
Amazon tree boas, Dominican red mountain boas, they have like a calico gene. But
Yeah,
for chondros, uh, calico is just this lineage of snakes. So there was a snake named uh, Calico Jr., and his
yeah,
dad was a computer chondro. And so,
yeah. Computer Chondro from Greg Maxwell.
right. And so, so man, that like with green trees, it's not about like the the morphs in a gene aspect. It's about the lineage that you trace back to, you know, the founding animals, and seeing what, you know, those founding animals produced, and then, you know, how the tree like branches out into like all these different just phenotypes, and how
Yeah,
even the calico gene can look so different when you put it to something else. But man, it so often looks crazy. Like it's not your wild type green tree pythons, man.
yeah,
It's far from the what nature intended as you can. Like they're wild looking. And so I loved the pixelation, the colors. Like I never thought that you know, a black, yellow, orange, blue snake
yeah,
could exist all in one animal. And the calico line does that in a lot of really cool ways. So I got into the calico line, and just knew that I wanted to work that project. And so I got my first calico line animal. It was actually the father to your snake that you got from me. So Bolo was my very first calico line animal. And I think I got him in like 2014, maybe 2015. So and man, from there it was like, man, I want to get as many of these calico line green trees as I can. Like I want to collect all all the
especially
different,
like when you look into the book Greg Maxwell produced. Like the Calico Junior, it's crazy. Like these, like you said, the blacks, the reds, the yellows, the blues, it all on one animal, and that's crazy. And I don't know, I guess because a lot of people right now, they're chasing the blue. I want a blue, chondro.
yeah.
And I'm like, it's so many other things out here, so many lineages, and we just hitting the tip of the iceberg. Literally, we still haven't dialed in how to completely produce chondros.
Yeah.
It's like we still finicking around with that.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. And yeah, so and very similar to what you said, like, dude, I saw a ton of people chasing like the Trooper Walsh blue line. Like, man, that so many people when they first see a blue green tree, they're like, oh dude, like I want a blue snake. And for me, I can appreciate a blue green tree as much as anybody, but man, I saw that there were so many people going down that route. And for me, I'm like, dude, if you create like a blue snake, like the only like progression with that is make it bluer,
Yeah.
And so for me, I loved the calico the calico line, because man, you can get everything. Like it's not limited to one color. It's not limited to one look. It's this like pixelation that you can get high blue animals, which I've produced. You can get high black animals. You can get high yellow animals. You can get all of it combined into one snake, or separately into the individual snakes. And so for me, it was like, dude, I'll never get bored working the calico line because it's literally got everything.
Literally. And I didn't know this until like I think about a few weeks ago. I didn't know that the mosaic line stems from calico.
No, it actually the mosaic line is its own thing that popped up in, I think so Pedro is in Portugal, and he didn't produce mosaic. He bought mosaic as a baby, and I can't remember if mosaic's parents were in Portugal or if they were in Spain. But they were totally separate. And the crazy, but mosaic, when you see mosaic, he has that same calico look.
Yeah.
And so he's got like all the crazy colors, but he isn't a part of the line. But then Pedro paired him with a calico female one time and created this, crazy results.
Yeah.
And but the coolest thing about green trees is like a snake like mosaic came from two relatively green snakes. Same thing with the sickness, like Bill's most famous animal, like the most black and blue chondro, that we've seen in the modern era.
Right.
He came from two relatively green snakes. And so, man, the coolest thing about green trees is, man, sometimes you can get the craziest stuff from even the most plain parents. And the flip side of that coin, which is probably more depressing than anything, but it's still cool, is that from the craziest looking parents, you can still get a green snake, and so
I've seen that a few times too. Yeah.
yeah, so it works both ways. But man, it's just so fun to be in the mystery, like to not know what's going to pop out. So so yeah, man, the Mosaic is easily one of my favorite looking snakes of all time. Like that's crazy looking.
Calico Junior, Computer, Chondro, all three of those are like that's my top three.
Yeah,
You know, to me, I'm in with the Calico stuff. You know, hopefully I get some more in the future or whatnot. But yeah, I think that's the route that I'm going. Missing some Calico. I want to produce strictly Tamika.
Yeah.
So
Tamika,
I'm on. Yeah,
Tamika's a
I'm
really
on the
cool
search right now.
Yeah, they don't come in very often. They're hard to find, but man, when you find one, the Tamika locality, especially the red neos from Tamika's, man, they're blue. Like they are crazy dorsals and just super super cool.
Yeah. So I want to, put my stamp on a Tamika locality and do some Calico stuff on the side.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, and dude, I feel like one of the really cool things with green trees is there's so many different things you can do. Like obviously you can just grab two random green trees and breed them together and not know what's going to pop out. But man, you can also work different locality projects. You can go for there's kind of like three different things you can do with the green trees. You can go for a locality, you can go for a lineage, or you can go for a look and say, if man, I just want to create, black snakes, and I don't care what lineage they are, but man, I want them to look as black as possible. Then man, you can go for that look. But dude, if you love
the
the way that
melanistic look, the
but if you
melanistic.
love Arus or Tamikas or Sarongs or any of those localities, dude, you can have that project as well. And so, man, they're like, it's awesome that we still get to have like wild caught and even like farm bred green trees come in to the U.S.
Yeah.
And so, dude, if there's a locality that you are passionate about, aside from the Australian locality, you can get it. Like it, if you're patient enough, if you know the right people, if you get in the right crew, then dude, you can get anything. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm more of a locality person, but I still want some crazy stuff, on the side. Like I said, the Calico lineage stuff, Calico line. You got Kino with the Cyclops, Ruben with the Cyclops, Trav with the Sarongs. You have Ryan Young with the Arus.
Yeah.
Ryan Young, like Chuck with the Chuck have the Arus as well, and Alex Warren have the Arus. So
yeah, dude. I mean, really, there's like, man, there's something for everyone. Like, dude, it doesn't matter what you're into. There's something for you on it.
Literally. So, how do you go in about pairing, like picking your pairing?
Yeah. So here at my place, I basically have two projects. So I have the Calico line, and my goal with the Calico line, now that it's, like I was describing it started with the Computer Chondro and Calico Junior, and then like started branching out. And so my goal with the Calico line is to take those branches, now that they've kind of separated out from the founders, and then start to weave them back together. And so taking like some of the like 25% calicos and the 12% calicos that are spread out far away from each other and breeding them back together to just to see like, man, what kind of crazy stuff can we do as we keep the calico line together after it's been outcrossed out. So when I'm picking pairings for the calico line, man, I'm focused solely on lineage stuff. Like, man, I want to see where that snake is in the lineage, and I want to try and pair it to something that's far away enough from it to keep some like gene diversity, but also close enough to it to where, man, I'm not getting so far away from the line that I'm losing some of the stuff that I really care about. And then the other project that I work is yellow neos. And so trying to, my goal with the yellow neos is basically, that first yellow neo that I got, Fiona, man, she hooked me on like creating the craziest, wildest looking snakes from yellow neos. And so, man, I saw it happen before my eyes, and I was like, oh dude, it's possible. Like you can get these wild looking snakes from yellow neos. And and so I've been able to do that, and I'm still kind of pushing forward on it. So for me, those two projects, one is the calico line, and then the other is the look of crazy looking yellow neos.
Yeah, nice. So well, I know you got some new enclosures now. So how's your husbandry?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say what's up to Jordan in the chat, because
for sure, man.
He's the man. But yeah, so Jordan from Heartland Reptiles and I, we worked together, and we just like, he gave me the freedom to tell him what I was looking for in like the perfect chondro cage. And Jordan, coming from the retic world, man, he makes powder coated aluminum cages that are indestructible for these like massive snakes. And it's like his if you ever seen him at a reptile show, like his cages are built like tanks.
For sure.
They're unbelievable. So I reached out to Jordan, and we got connected, and I kind of told him, man, what I was looking for with a chondro cage, and we started bouncing ideas off each other, and he sent me some like initial like renderings of cages, and I would send back some edits, and we went back and forth for like 2 or 3 months, and now I have these cages, and they're unbelievable. So I'm right now, unfortunately, we just kept coming up with ideas to like make them even better every time. So I didn't get them in time to move my adults into them for this breeding season. So I'm leaving the adults upstairs until after breeding season. And then after that, I'll move them into these new cages and let them get settled for the next year. But yeah, super excited about them. And Jordan has been just incredible to work with.
Literally. I'm trying to figure out, as well with him, I guess to make a condo, have a big box with the dividers inside, because I move next year. So I think that will make it easier for me with the yearlings and the neos and stuff, with the chondros.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be exciting. Hopefully, I think Christmas time, I think everything will be ready, and I have the new enclosures. Me and Jordan will lock in and see what's the best route, to take.
Yeah.
Man. So are you keeping on puppy pads or
So I keep
paper?
so the reason I wanted to help Jordan design a cage is because the cages for most arboreal snakes, and really cages for most snakes out there. My The thing that I hated most, hate might be a strong word, but the thing that I disliked the
Yes.
most about every other snake cage is that if you have a 2-foot cage,
Mm-hmm.
then the cage company puts a 3-inch substrate thing on the bottom, and
Yeah.
then to make it even, they put a 3-inch substrate thing on the top. So that's 6 inches of
Yeah.
your 24 inches. So now you only have 18 inches of viewing room into that cage. And
Mm-hmm.
for me and for the majority of chondro keepers, and a lot of the arboreals, man, we like, it's so rare for people in green trees to even use substrate, and so we don't need big substrate dams. Like,
Yeah.
my ideal cage is, man, I want the biggest viewing window possible. Like, these snakes
Mm-hmm.
are a work of art, and I don't want to make the window into that work of art small. I want it
Right.
I want as big as possible. I want to see what is in
Hey,
that cage. And
hell
so
yeah.
that's why we made the cages the way we did. So all that to say is that for me, I use like craft paper,
Mm-hmm.
as a substrate. I keep it super simple. I have natural perches. I use crepe myrtle branches as perches, um, and a water dish. And so, man, it's like, I tell so many people that green trees are seriously like the lowest maintenance snake you can have. Like, dude,
Exactly.
they're off the ground, so they're not like messing up a cage and making everything dirty. They they
Mm-hmm.
don't they don't defecate like super often. They don't need a substrate that you have to like clean out every month
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Uh, and so as long as they have perches, they have the right temperature and humidity, and they have access to water, dude, that's it. Like, set it, get it. Like, they're so low maintenance. Now there's plenty of things that are more difficult with them once you get into the breeding and
Yeah.
incubation
Of
and
course.
hatching and establishing and all that stuff. But dude,
Mm-hmm.
keeping a green tree is so easy if you put it in the right box and you give
Mm-hmm.
it the right parameters of heat, humidity, and hydration. If you can do those, dude, it's like the easiest snake you could ever keep.
Yeah. It only take me about 5 minutes to clean about five neos. And
Yeah,
then that's it. Literally, you just take out a little puppy pad, the tub down, make sure everything good, spray some water, wipe it down again, make sure no chemicals are on it, and then put another puppy pad back in, put the perch back in with the neo, and that's it.
that's it, man. Yeah, super easy.
Yeah, and then refill the water. Well, I have like little deli cups for my neos, so I just toss the whole deli cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So with breeding and stuff, like how do you introduce the male to the female?
Yeah, so the breeding route is one of those things, like, it seems like with a lot of other species, there's kind of a set recipe that the majority of people follow, right? Um, where they like do some type of cycling, and then they put them together at a certain time of the year, and then
Hmm.
they see the locks, they expect the eggs, and then you incubate the eggs and you hatch the babies. And man, for green trees, you can ask 10 different people how they breed green trees, how they cycle them, how they pair them, how they,
Hmm.
every aspect of the breeding process. You can ask 10 different people and you'll get 20 different answers. Because man, there just is no set recipe, which can be a good thing because you can kind of cater it to you and how you work and what your style of life is like or whatever. But it's also infuriating because it's like, well, dude, if everyone's doing it differently, then how do I figure out what I do,
Yeah.
So I say all that to qualify, like, the way that I breed is not the way that Bill breeds or Patrick breeds, or pick your poison. But man, there's all things that we do that are relatively similar. So for me, I cycle my females with absolutely every tool that I have. So I do light cycling. I have the lights in my room. They come on and off with like sunrise and sunset. So as
Hmm.
my days are getting shorter outside, then my the light in my snake room is getting shorter in that window. So I do light cycling. I do food cycling. I fast my females and my males. I fast everybody that is a sub-adult or an adult for 2 months out of the summer.
So no food.
No one gets anything. All I'm doing is changing water. I'm not
Gotcha.
feeding them. I'm not doing anything for 2 months.
Hmm.
And that works really well for me because during the summer, I'm gone. Like, that's my
Yeah.
busy season. I'm traveling. I'm going all over for work. And so, man, the less that I have to do during the summer, the better.
Yeah.
So it works really
Right.
well
It's a
for me.
win-win.
Yeah. So
Definitely a win-win.
yeah. So then after the summer, I do 2 months of like pretty regular, like feeding with just a smaller, more frequent meal.
Mhm.
And while I'm doing that, I'm also dropping temps. So I do light cycling, I do food cycling, I do temperature cycling. And I do all of that. It's not all necessary, but I'm like, dude, if even one of it works, then man, I want to use every tool in my tool belt. And so I do all three of those cycling things to prepare my females for the breeding season.
Yeah,
Uh,
because then I think because it will then kick on, she'll feed, start pounding those mice or whatever you feed. It'll kick her into uh the growing those follicles.
totally. And like I said, it's not necessary. Like, there's plenty of people that don't food cycle. There's plenty of people that don't light cycle. There's plenty of people that don't cycle, like, don't do anything different. They just keep the same stuff all year round, and
Hmm.
they've had success. And so, green trees being a, like, pretty much like equatorial species, like, their environment in the wild, it doesn't change a whole lot. There's a rainy season, there's a dry season, but man, their temperatures are pretty stable.
Hmm.
Their food source is relatively stable. And so it's not totally necessary, but man, for me, I just look at it as, if there's a trigger that could help, then I want to use it. So
Yeah.
I do all three of those. And then when I am ready to pair the male, I will introduce him into the female's cage. And I do that, kind of like mid-afternoon, late afternoon, well before lights go out, just in case. I
Yeah.
don't want any
Yeah.
response. I want the female to be relatively asleep, and then
Hmm.
introduce the male in there and give him at least a head start, to
Right.
get in there and not have to be dodging bullets while he's running into the cage.
Literally. But yeah. So do you do a nest box, a lay box?
Yeah.
And
Um, so I will leave the male in there for basically as long as it takes. Sometimes it
until you see an ovulation,
so
or
until that male is not showing any interest. Like
mm,
I've given him a chance, man, and I've either seen locks or dude, he's so in the best case scenario, I put the male in, and typically within the first day or two, man, you're gonna see that male like really courting the female, and
mhm,
and you know, hopefully you see locks. And so I will leave that male in as long as he shows interest. Like, man, if he's over her, if he's next to her, if he's, you know, during the day they usually separate, and the male will perch kind of next to her. Um, but then when that female starts to swell up a little bit, and you can tell like, okay, there's follicles building, and then
mhm,
she'll refuse a meal. And man, when she refuses a meal, that's when I'm like, okay, that's the first step. Well, after getting a lock, but
yeah,
man, that's the first sign that I'm like, okay, this female is doing something. There's something going on. She's building follicles, and when she refuses a meal, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I think we're headed down the right path. So I leave the male in there until he is like multiple days in a row. He is on the opposite side of the cage, like completely. You know, it doesn't like they
yeah,
man, they know, and they when they
mhm.
get the job done, that male he goes, all right, great.
Time to go.
I don't want anything to do with her anymore.
Right.
And and so I leave the male in there until I see him not wanting anything to do with her. And
Mhm,
typically, in in my collection, I see this a lot of the times is that I'll see the male start to go into a shed cycle. And
mhm,
so when he starts to turn opaque, like when I can first start to see, dude, I think he's going into shed, like the very first
yeah,
signs, that's when I'm like, yes. Okay. That means she's about to ovulate because
yeah,
so often it doesn't happen in everybody's collection, but man, there are so many people that have told me the same thing that they've like taken records. They, you know, they've nerded out like I do, and they have seen the same thing happen where the male will shed around the same time that the female that he bred ovulates.
mhm,
And
gotcha.
I don't know how they know. I don't know. Like, dude,
It just,
that's
yeah,
Mother Nature's finest. Like, dude, it's something happens. And so, man, when I see that male go into shed, like just starting to go, and he's not showing interest anymore, I pull him out. I put him back in his cage. I let him take a breather, shed his skin, and typically within a couple days of him shedding, either a couple days before or a couple days after, that female will ovulate. And a green tree ovulation is something you just can't
yeah,
miss.
you can't miss. Yeah,
I mean, it looks like she swallowed a football, and
yeah,
she's been refusing food. So you're like, dude, it's got to be like that's the ovulation. So once she ovulates, then I start getting a nest box ready. I'll put the nest box in about the week after she ovulates. Um,
mhm,
and if it's a small enough female, um, I'll leave her in there, and I'll let her like check out the nest box. And if she goes in and she really finds that she likes the nest box, that's great. A lot of times the females they'll check out the nest box and they'll say, no, I don't like it, and they'll start moving it around, or they'll hide under the paper, or they'll do
right.
something. And so I'll count the days after the ovulation. And once
Mhm,
we start getting close to getting eggs, I'll take that female if they're not in the egg box, and using the like lay box, I'll put her in a empty tub in a rack. Um, and let her lay in there, and that's worked great too.
Got you. So would you let that male sire multiple clutches in that season?
Yeah, I've done it before and had fine results with it. For me personally, I like to have as many different like clutches and projects that are all working together. Like, I don't really do repeat pairings because I don't. I'm breeding these pairings. I'm doing it for myself. Like, and so
Right.
man, I don't care about the other people. I'm like, dude, I got a project in mind. I can see the road I'm headed down. And so, man, I want many different things to pull from to get to that project. And so, so for me, I have used the same male to sire a couple clutches, but even at that, I'm like, dude, I'll put them to two different females and work them back and forth, and then I'm probably fine. I know people that have had a male sire like 4 clutches in a season, and I'm like, dude, that's wild. Like, that male put in work, and he deserves a lot of time off after that.
Right.
So it all just depends on what you're going for, man. If you have a crazy male that you want to get as much of his genetics as you can out there, then I think putting him to a couple different females, giving him the rest that he needs, making sure that he's in fit condition, I think that's fine. So
Gotcha. So hatch box. How do you set up your hatch box?
Yeah, so again, dude, so I just have to qualify. Like, everything that I do is not necessarily the way that everybody else does it. There's a lot of people that will put egg boxes in like a sim container and just do it over water. I tried that. It didn't work well for me. So for me, I put my eggs directly in vermiculite and in a 1-to-1 ratio of vermiculite to water by weight. And then I put that vermiculite tray over water in a tub.
Gotcha.
So it's super confusing. I'm basically like, if you had a sim container that was just like eggs over water, but instead of putting the eggs on the tray, you put the eggs in vermiculite in a tub. Yeah. And then you put that inside the sim container. That's what I do. So
and then you put the sim container inside the incubator.
Right. Yeah. So for whatever reason, that has worked well for me. And doing it directly over water just didn't have the results that I wanted it to. So it there's not many people that put green tree eggs in a actual substrate medium, just because they're superstitious, or it's gonna ruin them. It doesn't. They're snake eggs like every other snake egg. You just got to make sure they don't get wet. Make sure they have like 99% humidity, but decent airflow at the same time.
So do you separate the clutch and then put it in the vermiculite?
I have done both. I've separated the eggs. Most of the time I separate the eggs just so I can monitor each individual egg and make sure that, like, if something needs to happen to one egg, if one's getting like a little mold, or if it has a window on it that I can like put some Elmer's glue or something on, then I can do it. But I've also just taken the whole clump and put it in the vermiculite too, and it worked just as great. So yeah, I don't know.
It's all good. So again, like, walk us through when they hatch out, when the neos hatch out. What's your first move?
Yeah, so typically, green tree keepers will typically incubate between like 86.5 at the low end
Mm-hmm.
to like 88 at the high end. And based on where you incubate, your babies will typically hatch out around day 50-ish. I incubate a little bit lower. I do like 86.8 or 87, and
Mm-hmm.
I typically get pips around like day 53, 52. I've
Mm-hmm.
had them all the way up to like 55, and they still come out great.
Still not bad. I say the slower the better. You know, you don't want to overcook them things. Like they going through so many temperature changes within themselves.
Yeah,
You know, within the shell itself. So you don't want to, overstimulate the egg.
totally. And so, man, it really like with green trees having just like I think the thing that people ruin green tree eggs with is they try and do too much. And so
Mhm.
if you get green tree eggs, the best thing you can do is seek out some advice and then say, okay, I'm gonna do what this person tells me to, or I'm gonna put a little bit of my spin on it, but then I'm going to stick to the plan. Like,
Mhm.
have a plan before you get the eggs and say, okay, I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna stick to the plan, even if stuff like starts going crazy wrong. Like obviously, if like everything's crashing and your whole world is burning, then you can change stuff. But man, a good egg wants to hatch, and man, I think so often we try and do too much or change too many things, and all that changing back and forth is ultimately what's gonna give you a hard time. Where
Yeah.
if you just stick it out with the advice that you're given and say, hey man, I believe in this method. I know other people have done it, and then just see it through and say, dude,
Oh yeah.
whatever happens. I think that's going to be a good thing. So
Yeah. Especially with new breeders and keepers, a lot of them they overthink it and should I do this? Should I do that? And
yeah,
just pay attention to these podcasts every week. Have about two or three mentors, and most of the time they all gonna say the same shit. So you in good hands. Just pick out two or three good mentors and follow them, man. That's all you got to do. Don't
yeah,
overthink it. You know, it's easy, but it's not easy.
yeah,
And
yeah.
be
Well,
patient, y'all. Be patient.
yeah, and just remember, like, man, a good healthy egg, it is going to try so hard to hatch. Like, even
Mhm.
if the everything isn't like absolutely 100% perfect, man, it still wants to hatch. It is still going to fight to hatch. And so, man, just trust the process and know that, dude, you're going to figure it out. And so, if things don't go exactly like you planned that first time, do a little tweak the next time and just know that, man, this is a process. Like, you don't have to win first place every
Right,
time you put eggs in the incubator. Like, man, you can, as long as you're continuing to take steps to make your process better each and every year,
right.
you're going to be great.
hmm So, do you feed the neos before shed or after shed?
I
And,
I
what's their first meal?
Yeah. So I wait until basically until all of them shed. So a lot of people, some people will try and feed before they shed. For me, I wait. There's other people that they'll feed like right after a baby sheds. They'll try and feed that neo, and
Yeah.
then as the other shed, they'll try and feed those ones too. And so for me, I typically try and wait until the entire clutch has shed, and that takes a while. And so, man, for me, I've seen success just being patient, letting those neos get hungry, like absorb
hmm
all the yolk that they have, like burn through their nutrients, And then by the time all of them have shed, and I can tell, like, okay, they're hunting, they're ready. Then I'll go in with a frozen
I love the
thawed.
dog.
Yeah, no sweat. So then I'll go in with a frozen thawed small pinky. I get my pinky, or I get all my rodents from Cold Blooded Cafe, and they have like the like day old, or the day old, like red hot pinks.
Yeah.
For me those are, I think those are too small, and they're, I just think it's unnecessary.
They messy too.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just, they're not as well formed, and they're a little softer. And so for me, I use the small pinks right out of the gate. And I also use chick down. So I want that pinky as hot within reason as I can get it. So I use hot water. I dip the pinky in there. I dry it off a little bit, and then I put it in chick down and offer it with a little tease feeding. And there's usually a couple that that give some issues or give some problems, but after some persistence, they usually come around.
So, for people that don't know what chick down is just like bird feathers.
Yeah,
Anything bird feathers, anything to scent that pinky, get the neo to grasp on and stuff, because sometimes you can't really smell a pinky. It don't have no scent yet, honestly.
Yeah, it's for, honestly, I don't think green trees are, I don't think they're eating at least baby green trees. I don't think they're eating birds in the wild. Most studies have shown that even the adults don't eat birds very often, if ever.
Right.
And so for whatever reason, I think it's just, man, there's a weird smell that those, like, baby chick feathers, the chick, those baby chick feathers, they have some smell on them that smells funky to them, to where they're like, that's I think I might need to check that out. So for me, I have chickens, and so I'll go out and I'll just grab some chicken feathers from the coop, and I'll go and just cut, like, the softest, like, finest feathers at the bottom of that, like, feather shaft, and put it in a deli cup, and I'll take that pinky out of the hot water. I'll dry it off a little, roll it in those, like, really soft, fine feathers, and for whatever reason, man, the neos, they lock into that, like, that chick down smell.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I think. I just had to do the first 2 meals or 3 meals with the one I got from you, and then after that, it's taking frozen thaw now.
Yeah. Typically, once they start, like, sight feeding on you, and like, they get to a point where, you're offering the pinky with chick feathers, and eventually you put less and less feathers on it, and then there's one day when you open that tub, and that neo just, like, looks at you, and it's like, oh, hey, and you're like, all right, dude, it's game on. And so then it's boom, automatic, and man, once they're there, oh, it's off to the races. And so then it's super easy. You can feed a whole rack of babies in a minute.
Do you feed with the lights on or off?
Yeah, so typically I feed at night. And
what time at night? Because sometimes it does matter. The time does matter. It's like, 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning is very different.
Yeah. So I have my son is about to be 3, And so I before having a kid, I would probably do it way later, because it's like, dude, I don't have to wake up early, like, and whatever. So now it's like, dude, I put Kingston to bed, and then I'm like, all right, like as soon as he's in bed and the lights go out, I'm going down there and working because especially those first couple months with the neos can be really challenging. And dude, you
40
gotta
minutes. 40 minutes using the tongs, the little tongs too.
Yeah, and that's with one snake, and then dude, you have a clutch of 20 hatchlings, and you're like, dude, I could very well be down here for 3-4 hours feeding babies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try and get started pretty early. Like as soon as the lights go out, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to work.
Yeah, time to go. Yeah. So what do you feed your little stragglers first, or the ones that's going to bite first?
Yeah. So I'll mix it up, because man, the ones that are hard feeders, dude, they will test your patience. Like, and so, dude, I'll come. It depends on what headspace I'm in. If I'm in a good spot, if I'm feeling joyful and I'm ready, like I'm excited, yeah, I'll start with them, and then I'll bounce back to some and get the easy one. I'll come back to a hard one, but man, there's sometimes where I'm like, dude, I gotta save that hard one for now. Like I can't even look at it, dude, because I just gotta come back to it. I gotta cool myself down, like, because dude, they're frustrating. Like, dude,
those some little motherfuckers. Those some little stubborn bastards.
Dude, people wonder, like, why some of the green tree prices are what they are, and it's like, dude, I promise you, like, the amount of hours that are put into getting a green tree established and ready.
Mm-hmm.
If we're charging by the hour, you're getting that green tree for cheap, for pennies, because man, so many of those, it is a labor of love, and you're down there for hours at a time. If you're doing it in the day or at night, trying to get that snake to be automatic for whoever you send it to. And and man, it's not something that just anybody, there's a ton of people that get out of green trees because they have one clutch and they see how much work goes into it, and they're like, dude, this isn't for me. And that's fine. That's not a knock against them, but man, when you do it and you see that neo eat, and you're like, this is like, okay, dude, we got there. Like that's a really good feeling.
Yeah. And then, like, what I had to learn, getting neos in, because I'm getting neos like 2-3 months old. They're still trying to get established or whatnot. And I had to assist feed one for maybe about 3 months or whatnot. Just try to get it, good. And one day I just gave it a gizzard, and it took the gizzard, and it turned right back on.
Yeah.
When I first got it, it ate maybe 5 meals consistently, pinks. And then it went to fuzzies, and then it turned off the fuzzies, and then I just gave it a chicken gizzard, and now it's back.
Yeah, man, they're all so unique, and so every animal has its own individual personality, and man, some of them, the second you get them started, dude, they're not turning back. Like they're just machine guns every time you open that tub. And then other ones, and they take you for a ride. They'll go, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, I want something else. I don't want that anymore.
Right.
The same way you've been doing it for weeks. That's not cool anymore. I don't like that. Why are you doing that? Like, don't bring that stuff in here. And you're like, dude, that's the same. Like, I've been doing the same thing. Why? Like, what are you doing? And man, sometimes they like a switch flips, and they're like, no, I want something different.
And then it's crazy because not everybody have the same feeding techniques.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, they don't do, you know, the little stop jiggle, stop jiggle, stop jiggle. Some people just think you can just tap it on their coils on their neck. It get them to feed. You know, some people think you could just put it right in their face, get them to feed. But yeah. What's your opinion on quail and gizzards and what
Yeah.
else?
Yeah. So I
Crescents.
I do use gizzards
Mhm.
for especially just as an alternative for snakes, for neos that are they're not liking pinks. Man, I'll try a gizzard. And
Mhm.
I do the same way. I thaw it out. I cut them into little, pinky sized strips. Uh,
Mhm.
I I thaw it out. I put it in hot water. I dry it off. I'll even put chick down on it
Yeah.
sometimes. And man, just to see, like, okay, you didn't want a pinky. What about this? And
Right.
and man, sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like, dude, that's all they needed. And then you give them a couple gizzards, and then all of a sudden they're sight feeding, and you put a pinky in there, and they're like, yep, that's good. And they switch over easy. um, Others, man, they like when they don't want anything, and you can't figure it out. A gizzard is a really great tool to use for assist feeding, because assist feeding a pinky sucks. It's awful. Like,
Yeah.
those things,
Messy. Very
yeah,
messy.
they're just not meant. They're not meant to hold together under pressure.
Yeah.
A pinky is basically a marshmallow that's like,
A water bag.
yeah, it just came out of the microwave. Like, it's ready. It's ready to pop at any
Yeah.
time. And so a gizzard is great because it kind of firms up a little bit, and
Mhm.
man, you can use it to assist feed a neo way easier than a pinky. I
Yeah.
know, like Bill, he has started just alternating gizzards into his neonates diet as well, where it's like, man, he'll just give him a gizzard because it's got better caloric intake and better nutrients than just a pinky. Um,
Yeah.
I don't do that very often, unless I'm just feeling frisky or something. I think the quail is great,
Mhm.
especially like the super small button quail. I think that can be a good prey item, but it's too big for most hatchling chondros. Um,
Yeah.
Straight out of the egg, as a first, second, third, fourth meal, it's too big.
Yeah.
Once you get 5, 6, 7 meals in that green tree, then I think
And consistent at a good, you know, good days of separation, like every 5 to 8 days of, you know, consistent feeding.
yeah. Then I think those button quail babies can be great. I haven't used them in
Mhm.
that regard. I have used quail just like as some other stuff, but
Yeah.
I haven't. I have some quail that I'll cut the feathers off of and use it to scent the pinkies sometimes, uh,
Mhm.
but that's only when they're being difficult. So
Yeah, true.
yeah.
All right. So how do you pick your holdbacks with,
uh,
especially with the yellow neos?
yeah.
What do you
So
look for?
so with every with every line, I think there's certain things that you want to look for in a holdback. Um, with blue line stuff, if you want a blue snake, if you want a black snake, and you're getting it from like blue line lineage and some of that, then man, the darker the neo, the better. Like, that's one
Mhm.
thing that you look for when you're trying to pick a holdback for blue or black. Um, for calico line stuff, with red neos, um, man, I'm looking for a pretty dark snake, but I want as little pattern on their neck as possible, and I want crazy, like aberrant, weird patterns in their dorsal pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and on their laterals. Something that's just weird and funky. Like those are going to be my holdbacks with the Calico line. With the yellow neos, it's harder, man. Like you said, it's harder. And I think a lot of it is because there's just not as much nuance to a yellow neo. Like with
Yeah.
red neos, it's like, man,
You got
when you have
maroon.
you have like bright red neos to like maroon neos to like chocolate neos to like dark black neos, like
Exactly. Right.
that whole spectrum. And then you have ones with white diamonds or orange diamonds, or like the outlines can be a little like there's so much more to look at in a red neo, where with a yellow neo, I think part of it is like the human eye just doesn't pick up shades of yellow as good as we do with shades of red to black.
Right.
Um,
Gotcha.
and so with the yellow neos, I tend to pick out a little bit of everything. Like I want the full spectrum covered with the ones that I hold back. So that means I'll pick out the brightest yellow neo and the dullest yellow neo. I'll pick out the heaviest patterned one and the like least patterned one. And so that way I'm taking something off of each end of the extremes.
Yeah.
And the stuff in the middle is like, okay, I think the majority is going to fall there, but man, I want to pick those outliers.
Yeah.
I've also found that with the yellow neos, at least the lines that I work with, that the eye color and the even the pattern that comes across the eye of a yellow neo can often be a like a signal of going, okay, that I think that one's going to be something different. Where if it's got this crazy looking, like bright red zigzag, wild looking eye, man, I'm going to keep that one as opposed to some of its siblings.
I
And
love the copper eyes. The copper eyes is my favorite.
yeah, and so man, there's there's a dude over in Germany that just hatched a bunch of yellow neos, and he reached out to me and he's like, hey, which ones would you hold back? And I was like, dude, like I would look at their eyes, like they, a lot of them looked like pretty similar, and I was like, but dude, but these ones, their eyes look different. Like I would watch those ones with the funky eyes and see. And so with the yellows, it's way harder. And so if you can, like hold on to as many as you can, like that, I think that's great. I think the trouble, the great thing about green trees is that you don't know what you're going to get. And so even the craziest looking neo can turn out to be relatively plain, and the plainest looking neo can turn out to be relatively crazy. So if you sell neos before they start changing, you're able to get a pretty high dollar amount for that snake, where you don't know what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
If you hold on to all your babies for a year and then you sell them, well, then you're going to have some that are super extreme and crazy looking, and you can get, the highest dollar you want for them, but you're also going to have some that turn out plain and green, and you're going to get lower than you would if you would have sold it as a baby. So it's like, pick your poison and figure out which route you want to go. Do you want to, take the chance on selling unchanged babies and get kind of that middle ground price, or do you want to wait until they change and then, decide which of the crazy ones you want to sell and which of the like plain ones you want to sell, and ultimately it's going to even out to the middle anyway. So just something to think through. But I actually have some yellow Neos that I produced this year that I brought to the desk. Do you want to see some? Can I?
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Can we show some
Yeah, we
snakes
can.
on a podcast?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's start with it. So it is nighttime right now. But so here is a yellow baby. This is a blaze pattern Neo. So you can see that. So they call it blaze because it's a yellow Neo. I mean, where am I? I got to figure out where I am. But there's that red, that like rust red on the top of the dorsal. So it's just a really striking look to it. And I love blaze patterned Neos. They're just so cool. A lot of times it doesn't end up being like anything super special, super crazy as adults. But man, when they're babies, the blaze pattern is so pretty. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure, man. That is nice, and it's chunky, just how I like them. They chunk.
yeah. These have all been great eaters. So let me cover that one. This one actually just shed. So this one has started to get a little bit more color on it, and you can see a lot of black coming in, but it's still keeping a lot of yellow. So a lot of those scales, obviously a phone camera isn't going to pick up all the like really cool intricacies of it, but a lot of black scales coming in, and just super cool. So one of the white whales of yellow Neo projects is to create a yellow Neo that stays majority yellow, but then has like black scales. So basically a yellow and black. That's a project that a lot of people have chased in the past, and I'm headed down that path with a couple snakes that I think have potential to get me there. So we'll see if it happens.
And so these snakes are from what pairing? Or is it Calico line or?
So these were all yellow Neos from two snakes that I produced. These are actually Fiona's grandchildren. So that first snake that I got off Craigslist is the grandmother to these. So you can see this one is like got so much black on it. It's just, I don't know if the camera's really picking it up. But
oh yeah, it's picking it up for sure.
There's a ton of black on this snake. And man, I'm super excited about this one. Like, dude, get real. Like a all black and green tree python from yellow Neos. Like, dude, that's pretty killer. I don't care who you are. That's a good looking snake.
Yeah, you definitely pushing the envelope. That is nice.
Yeah.
Are any of these Neos from that clutch available for people, just in case some people want to hit you up or anything?
These are not. So, yeah. So the funny thing is, like, for me, like, I've produced a lot of like really amazing calico stuff that I'm super proud of, and I'm much more willing to sell calico line stuff than I am yellow Neo, because for me, I'm a nice guy. Like I man,
Yeah.
I'm like I want to be a nice guy. I love people. I'm like, I'm in ministry. Like that's my full-time job. And so it's like, man, I have this huge heart for people, but I also love proving people wrong. And so like for me, the Yellow Neo project is like, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait to prove everyone wrong about the Yellow Neo. And
No,
so
I'm on board with you, bro. I'm
yeah.
on board with you with the yellow neos.
So
I
yeah.
got
So,
one. I have
yeah.
three yellow and four red neos.
Yeah, man. So I believe, like, it's the same species, the red and the yellow, man. They're all green tree pythons, and I just believe that the yellows have just as much potential as the reds. And so it's just figuring out how those yellow neos play into each other instead of, trying to chase the red neo projects that everybody else is doing. Like I
Mhm.
get a high blue snake from a yellow neo. I think it's going to look different than a high blue snake from a red neo, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
it's still going to be like it. There's just no one that has chased that project in the past, and now there's finally some people that are going for it. And so, man, for me, I'm gonna make the craziest looking yellow neos that anybody has ever seen, and I think I've got the right stuff to do it. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
like Mike said, it's you just got to put in the work, and man,
Put in that work, man.
if you want a blue snake, go buy a neo from a great blue pairing and hope that it turns out blue, and that's great. But
And then put
man,
those two blue neos together, or when they adults put the blue to blue, and you're gonna make blue.
yeah,
But to make
but
something crazy and different, and come out with basically your own line. Honestly, you're making your own line, yellow neos. That's funky.
yeah, and man, there's just so many people have worked red neo projects, and I love red neo. Like, man, with the calico line, I think red neos largely is the way to go. Like, uh,
Mhm.
if you want a crazy looking snake from the calico line, I think a red neo is probably the direction you want to head in. But man, there's also so much potential that the yellow neos get overlooked with,
Mhm.
and I think the yellow neos have a lot going for them that reds don't, in a lot of ways. So it's really just about, and you pick the project that man, you just can't get away from. It just drives you, man. You want to pick the project that you're passionate about working every single day, and no matter what setbacks you have, no matter how long you have to wait to get the right animal, like no matter anything, it's like, dude, I want to see this through no matter what. And so for me, I I I think the yellow neos are that. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna prove everyone wrong with it.
All right, all right. Last question. Last question. Mark Hager, what is your ideal perfect control?
So well, so that's a tough question. That is a tough question. So there, I mean, there have been so many like incredible chondros, and man, for every, like, for me, it's like, dude, I look at, it's like Computer Chondro and Calico Junior and some of
Huge.
those, like, dude, I look at those and I'm like, dude,
What a
that's
time to be alive back then. What a time to be alive, bro.
yeah,
Like
like, and
that.
that snake, and dude, there's other ones that are just, from the Calico line that, like, man, they look like freaks of nature. And so, um, man, I have one snake in my collection that is a yellow neo. He's not from Calico line. He's not from anything, but I produced him and he's got every color out there, and he's got white, he's got yellow, he's got green, he's got black, he's got blue, he's got everything. And man, when I look at that snake, I'm like, dude, like that's it. Like, dude, that's it. I want to make it crazier looking. I want to make it like even wilder. And so so yeah, for me, like from just a general standpoint, the perfect green tree is, it's got all the colors on it. It's super pixelated. It looks like just like a bag of Skittles, man. It's got every color out there, and for me, like, just because I'm passionate about it, I want that to come from a yellow Neo. So I think that would be my general perfect snake.
Yeah. I think like with the red Neos and stuff, most of the time is melanistic. You know, a lot of dark Neos, well, red Neos are melanistic. They don't, a lot of them really don't have that calico effect in them or blood in them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. And man, like, dude, there's some really cool stuff happening right now in the hobby. Like, dude, a lot more people are doing like high yellow pairings, but doing it from red Neos. And man, I think that's super cool. Like, that's something that we just haven't had a lot of people diving into right now. And so, man, I just, the green tree hobby right now, it's such a cool time to get into it, because there's a ton of possibilities to work different projects, and there's so many more resources for people to have success. And so, dude, it really is just like the Wild West out here. Like, dude, you can chase any project you want. You can, like, green trees have the ability to have every color under the sun, and you can mix them all up. You can separate them out and just do whatever you want, and chase that project.
A wild card out here, just like a Biak is Biak universe out here.
Yeah, just ask Patrick.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have any Neos available
from this year? I have maybe one or two that are left. So I had a couple people that had deposits on animals, and they had to back out, and one of those got scooped up earlier this week. And then there's one more that I'm still waiting. I'm like, dude, do I want to hold on to this one and see what it does, or do I want to sell it? So I haven't. I don't list many of my animals for sale. I have most of my animals, they get sold just from people asking, hey, what do you got? And before I have to post them anywhere, they're spoken for and they're sold. So I have maybe one or two that could still go out the door, but if they don't go anywhere, I'm not too upset about it.
And what lineage is that? Is that calico or?
Yeah, they're calico and blue line. So I had this year I had a calico male that's produced for me a couple times now, and he makes crazy black and blue babies, and I paired him with a blue line Biak female, where she's got blue, she's got white, she's got yellow, and so some of the babies have just started to change, and they're getting a lot of black and they're getting a lot of yellow. And I
better hit them up fast before they go.
Don't wait, because they don't last long. If you're interested, and hear me, like, if you don't, I don't care if you buy a green tree from me or not. It's like, people, I have so many people reach out to me and say, hey, what do you have available? And the first thing I say back to them is, hey, I do have stuff available, but what are you looking for?
Exactly.
Because I don't want to sell you something that you're not looking for. Like I'm a terrible. I never want to convince someone that they should get a chondro. I want people to say, hey dude, I want something that looks like this. And then I'll say, great, I don't have that. But you know who does? Bill or Patrick or Trev, or dude, I want to put everyone on with the stuff that they're working. Like I don't want to sell someone something that ultimately they're looking for something else. So yeah, really, if you're interested in green trees, if anyone has questions about them, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll answer it. And if you have something that you're looking for, like whether it's a locality or a lineage or whatever, say, hey Mark, do you know who's working with this? Chances are I probably know someone that's working with it, and I'm happy to get you connected and make the introduction, or at least point you in the right direction.
Right. So Mark, tell everybody where to reach you at and all that good little stuff. I'm pretty sure it's in the description in the YouTube link, but you can you can tell them.
Yeah, reach out if you follow TX Chondros on Instagram. Shoot me a message. That's me every time that will respond. So you can reach me super easy on there. I also have a website. If you go to Texas Chondros, all spelled out, texaschondros.com, you can see just some of the animals that I have. I haven't updated the pairings for this year yet, so or like for this upcoming breeding season, but you can see the pairings that I put together this last year. And if you're interested in those, or if you're interested in like when I am going to put a certain pair together, or whatever, feel free to reach out. You can email me through the website. So Instagram or the website, that's the best way to do it.
For sure. Hey Mark, so I'm finna put you backstage for a little bit and just hang out for about 3 minutes, and I'm finna wrap it up. Cool.
Thanks so much, Ro. I really appreciate you having me on.
Hey,
thanks for talking snakes with me, man. I always love it.
Hey man, it's an honor. We here at the Herp Collectors Network really appreciate you coming on. This is a different audience. It's a lot of new people that's interested in green trees. So I'm just trying to expand everybody's knowledge. They learning along with me, honestly.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're doing a great job with it. Thanks so much.
All right, appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was an episode right there. Mark, Texas Chondros, Mark Heger, man. Everybody, give him a round of applause, clap for him. That was a very insightful episode, honestly. Thank you for everybody that came out. Thank you for the super chat. We got the super chat. Thank you, mom and pop. Just thank you everybody that came out, man. I really appreciate y'all. Just give me some feedback, what I need to work on or whatnot. Just hit me in my DM. You can always reach me at Vibe with Ro on Instagram, Vibe with Ro. Hey man, and I think that's a good night. Y'all be safe out there. Happy Veterans Day once again. It's Veterans Day. We about to go get turned up. We about to drink a little bit and enjoy our night. Hey, good night, everybody.
Corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro Corner where we make our name. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner. Chondro Corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Every scale tells a tale, every clutch a dream. Working the grind, we reign supreme. In every corner, the potential's real. Chondro Corner, where we seal the deal. Chondro Corner, 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 Chondro Corner. Every scale tells a tale, every clutch a dream. Working the grind, we reign supreme. In every corner, the potential's real. Chondro Corner, where we seal the deal. Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every skill a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro Corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind. Chondro Corner, 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 Chondro Corner.